Hello, football fans. Well, there are 38 days left until the regular season starts, but we are actually 3 days away from the Hall of Fame game, which is the very first NFL preseason game of the year. And with that time closing in, it's time to do another division preview. There's two divisions left to preview, and here's the first one: the NFC South. Always fun, isn't it? It's like that. It's like that train wreck, that catastrophe that you're horrified by, that you can't turn away from it. It's been like that for the last 2 years. But yeah, the NFC South's always interesting. There's gonna be crazy this year. I just know it. There's gonna be pretty much a lot of the same. Well, maybe not a lot of the same, but it's gonna be quite fun to look at. And of course, like I've done with the past other division previews, I have to start in inverse standings order, which means having to talk about these guys. Though I'm just gonna let someone else say it for me.
One thing's for sure, I got nowhere else to go but up.
The Falcons are still trying to move past 28-3. They really are trying. This year will enter year 8 since then. They've only made the playoffs once, and that playoff appearance came right after 28-3. Since then, it's been difficult, and of course, the last 3 years have seen 7-10 seasons, which resulted in Arthur Smith being fired as head coach. They got Raheem Morris, who actually coached the Falcons on an interim basis after they fired Dan Quinn in 2020, during the 2020 season. But the big news in the Falcons camp is Kirk Cousins. They nabbed him. So it looks like they have their quarterback finally, because that was the thing they've been searching for ever since Matt Ryan went off to Indy. Of course, I think he's gonna hang it up. He's gonna retire, but they've been desperately grasping at straws looking for a quarterback, and now they've got one in Kirk Cousins. With that, I kind of think Atlanta's going to take the division. I have a feeling. I think this division is theirs to lose, maybe because, well, it's the NFC South. It's wacky, which means any outcome is possible. But yeah, it should be very interesting to see how the Falcons do, how the Falcons fare this upcoming season. After all, they were this close even with that faulty record. That's the NFC South for you. So we'll see how the Falcons fare in 2024. I, for the life of me, cannot figure out the Saints. They're fun to watch, but I can't figure them out. I mean, who are they? Who really are they? I mean, an argument can be made that the team's terrible. But another argument can be made that this team's good enough to be in the playoffs. It's weird that both these things can be true, but it's just fascinating how they've played, especially since Drew Brees retired. The promise is there. We've seen it in a couple of campaigns, like the first 21, the first year after Drew Brees retired, they almost made it. And they kind of regressed a little bit in 22, but in 23, they almost made it. They were alive. They were alive in the final week, and they won to stay alive entering the later games, the later window. But the Packers won, so that ended it. But still, they keep getting close. And like I said, this will be year 4 after Brees. This will be year 3 after Sean Payton left, and this is their second year with Derek Carr's quarterback. That's another player who kind of defines promise. I mean, he had his good moment with the Raiders. He's kind of fallen off since then, but he's done enough. He's done enough, and really the NFC South, enough is pretty much all you can ask for, because enough is enough to win a division. So who knows? The Saints have a shot. Will they cross that playoff line? We'll see. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Somebody has to rule this AFC South roost, if you will. Somebody has to rule it, and right now it's the Bucs. Though they've only needed 9 wins to do it, they've done it. That's all that matters. And last year was pretty good for them. They only finished 9-8, but they advanced. They beat up an Eagles team who were the defending conference champions, but they entered in such a terrible slump. But they still beat them. That's all that matters. And they made it to the NFL's. They were part of the NFL's Elite Eight. They were bested by Detroit, which was expected, but still, they made it that far. What are they going to do this year? For one thing, I'll say this. Baker Mayfield deserves some respect. Of course, I've said that for years. I mean, has the man had bad games? Yes. But he's more than that. Ask any Packers fan. I mean, all he did was leave Lambeau Field with a perfect passer rating. That's all. He's only the only road quarterback to do that. Nothing big. But yeah, Baker Mayfield is capable of good things. With that said, though, I won't be surprised if Tampa kind of falls off a little bit. Not a lot, but maybe a little. Because I have Atlanta winning the division. Tampa could, but I kind of think Atlanta might edge them out. But I'm not gonna say Tampa is gonna miss out. They have a good chance of getting the wild card. I think the NFC South is gonna improve a bit, where we actually see 2 South teams in this thing. I mean, there's a possibility. There really is a possibility that we see 2 South teams make it. Of course, that's going to push an unexpected NFC team out. But hey, that's the nature of the beast. So yeah, the NFC South, it's going to be another crazy train wreck, and I'm here for it because I love chaos in sports. That's why I'm a hockey fan. And the NFC, the last few years, has been quite chaotic. That's how we got it last year. But yeah, I think the NFC South, the games are going to be great, especially like Tampa, New Orleans, Atlanta, New Orleans. Maybe Carolina's games could be interesting. We'll definitely see some good stuff in the NFC South. And with that, that is my preview of the NFC South. If you like this video, click the like button. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe if you want more. If you're on TikTok, feel free to hit that follow button. My story previewing the NFC South will be featured. Check it out when you can. And there's one division left for me to talk about. I'll get to that later, the NFC West. That should be interesting. So stay tuned.